𝗖𝗵 standing by. What's that? Incoming transmission? We'll put it up on screen. Whoa! It's the Super Wi-Fi psychics coming through. Wi-Fi says hi.
Hi, Wi-Fi.
So great to hear you coming at me loud and clear again over Super Wi-Fi Wi-Fi. Now, most of you know who I am. For those of you that don't, I'm 𝗘𝗵𝗁𝗀! Wi-Fi, one of the Christchurch children's characters. And I'm on my way right now down there for the Sunday morning service at Christchurch, Liverpool. It's one of my absolute favourite places in the universe. Let me tell you a little bit about what goes on. R2, send me up some details on the Wi-Fi iPad. Great stuff coming through. Whoa! There's a lot of stuff they get on with down there in Christchurch, Liverpool. Sunday for kids. That's for babies and tots and kids and mini kids. Games, activities, crafts, songs, dramas, the whole caboodle. Then we've got the hangout. That's for you cooler 7 to 11-year-olds. 11 to 18-year-olds, I know you're too cool for school, but you're not too cool for Christchurch, I hope, because you've got Y-Connect for 11 to 18-year-olds. There is an awful lot going on down there for you Super Wi-Fi psychics, but also adults as well. I believe there's a little something for you. So, why not like this video, subscribe to this channel if you want to find out even more about what goes on down there at Christchurch, Liverpool. Meanwhile, I'm on my way down there now. Why don't you head on down with me to Christchurch, Liverpool Sunday morning service. See you later, Super Psychics. Off I go.
Welcome. It's exciting to our first ever great E-Nativity. We love every year at our church to gather kids and friends and relatives together, and our kids usually practice a whole nativity play in one day and then put it on for us. But today, obviously for reasons we all know about, that's not possible. So we're taking this opportunity to welcome people from all over the country, from all over the world to join us for our great E-Nativity. Now, just to say, what you're watching here on YouTube is only half the fun. You need another screen set up and you need to come on to our Zoom call. And I want to encourage you to do that, even if you haven't signed up in advance for one of our craft packs. If you have, it will be on the Zoom call. We'll be demonstrating how to use those and put all the craft together. We'll have readings from some children, maybe even a little bit of acting later on. And this part on YouTube, while there's lots of interesting characters to come, is only half the fun. If you've lost the link or you never had the link because you weren't sure you were going to come, you're still super welcome. So the way to do that is there'll be an email address just here in the chat to my left. Drop an email to there with your name and your phone number and we'll register you for the Zoom call. Then the person will know you to let you in for the Zoom call. We need to do that way for safeguarding reasons. But whether you're old or young, children or not, making craft or not making craft, we'd love you to join us on there and to get to know you a bit better. Just to say, if you're new to Christchurch, welcome, what a delight. My name is Morris, I'm one of the leaders of the church here. I'll be reappearing in various forms today, but Morris is my real persona and we'd love to keep in touch with you. And you'll see below this video on YouTube a link you can fill in to send us your details and we'll send you just anything you ask for really, only stuff you ask for about what's going on in the life of our church. Do say hello and let us know you're watching in the chat. We do this every week and people are very good at doing that, but we'd love to say hello wherever you are in the world, wherever you're watching. Say hello to us in the chat down there. We'd love to see you. Well, our nativity is about to start. So sit down, get ready, tune in, for the story of the day that God showed up. There's an expression that goes like this: people make plans, God laughs. We think we know what's going to happen, but we really don't. Sound familiar from the year we've just had? We have plans, but God shows up with other plans. And sometimes he shows up with a totally different plan than the one we had, in person. That's right. God himself arrives in human form. A couple of thousand of years ago, there was another very weird year. And if they'd had the internet back then, maybe the Christmas story would have gone a little bit like this. It all started back when Quirinius was governor of Syria. Boring meeting. What did you say? Sorry. Is my camera on? Oh my goodness. Right. Okay. Well, sorry. Yes. Okay, I'm with you now. Right. Okay. So, I am Quirinius. I'm not sure my name's right on this call down here. Quirinius. Never mind. Yes, I know I've got a funny accent, but I'm not from round where you are. I'm from Syria, and I'm the governor, and I've got a few things to say. Oh, someone's got their hand up. What's that? Herod? We can't hear you, mate. You're on mute. Just press the little microphone. Never mind. I'm doing the talking. So, just listen. All the plans you had for feasts, games, anything like that, it's quits. It's gone. No more. We've got an order. All right? God just showed up. And by God, I mean old Bojo up there, Augustus Caesar himself. He sent out an order that we're having a census, which is a lot less fun than it sounds. He sent out an order. Every single person in the empire needs to go to their hometown. So get on to the Airbnb people. There's going to be a lot of accommodation needed. I know. Admin nightmare. Who's that? Herod. Stop crying. I don't care about your birthday party. Just get it done. Now, I don't want to hear any more hassle about this. I've got to get hand gel to 3,000 market traders in Damascus. I've got enough to do without all of yous moaning on. Get to it. Get everybody back to their hometown now.
You there? You there, Steve? Hi, Steve. Hi, Steve. It's Joseph. You're right, mate. Oh, listen, you're on mute. I can't hear you. You got to press the button. No, not that one. It's the one down in the corner, the other corner. Oh, hey, listen, never mind. Would you be able to mind the workshop for me for a few days and finish turning those shepherd's crooks we got going? I know, I'm really sorry. I've got to go to Bethlehem to register for the thing, the census, you know. And I'm going to go there with Mary. And I know technically she's not my wife yet. But, well, long story short, God showed up in a dream. Now, I know that sounds all weird. I hadn't been eating cheese or anything. But an angel spoke to me. And the angel said, and listen, it's all straight up okay. It's all fine. It's all legit. But the angel said that Mary's going to have a baby. and I've got to call him Jesus, because it means God saves. Well, anyway, I'm sorry to drop you in it. Would you mind watching over things for a while for me? I mean, I've got so much to do. I haven't even got luggage if it's on the side of the donkey. Thanks so much. Oh, and don't forget to feed this cat, Steve. We wouldn't want Hamish going hungry. Thanks so much. See you. Bye.
So the story's unfolding. Augustus Caesar thinks he's God and can order everybody in the world to where they should be. But God is really showing up in the life of this simple carpenter Joseph. And God's arranging for Joseph's child, who comes from God, who means God saves, to be born in Bethlehem. Well, we're going to think more about that on our Zoom call now. So like I said, if you don't have the link, drop an email to the address that's in the chat. And there's going to be a 15-minute break on this YouTube channel so we can do our craft and hear a reading and all see each other on the Zoom call. And I'll see you in a minute for the next installment. Welcome, welcome to those of you tuning in for my annual lecture on the worship of Marduk under King Cyrus III. What wise people you are to have tuned in for this wonderful teaching from the wise man such as myself. However, today we are going to have to postpone indefinitely. You see, God has showed up. Let me tell you the story. I was sitting with my thinking hat on. Always helps me think to have a penguin on my head. Sitting with my thinking hat on when my friend came in, Casper, and said, "Look! A star in the sky." I said, "Don't be silly, dear boy, the sky's full of stars." He said, "No, a star that means something amazing is happening. We must search the Jewish scriptures." We looked through and discovered the star means a king is born. A king is born indeed. It's a star can only mean something or someone is coming from heaven. We only get this once in, well, ever. So it's a sign, and we, wise men, will be investigating on your behalf. Remember where God's people came from, Israel. That's where we've got to go. And we've got to pack gold. We're expecting a king. Incense, we're expecting a god. And myrrh, because somehow this baby's going to save the world by dying. So pack a rattle and some 𝗟𝗵𝗁 and some formula. Because this baby, apparently, is Emmanuel, God with us. Yes, I mean it, really. God has shown up. So I'm very sorry about the lecture. I've got other research I must do. It's much more important. I need to go and worship the newborn king. So excuse me a minute. Yes, now where's the milk 𝗟𝗵𝗁? Where have I got my notes? I don't know where the map is. Oh, sorry. Haven't I switched you off? You really don't need to tune in. I'm off to Bethlehem. Goodbye.
Marcus, you're on mute, mate. And that's on purpose. That's because I'm the king. I tell you what to do and I don't care what you have to say. Oh, it's bad enough having to cancel that feast because of the census. And now this. I was planning on having another feast to celebrate how brilliant I am. And these three men turn up from the east. They say they were looking for the king. Well, I said, "Well done, you found him. Bow down and help yourself to a Kit Kat." They said no, they were looking for a baby. A baby who was born King of the Jews. They say God showed up. They saw his star in the east and they came all this way to worship him. God showed up. I'm the King of the Jews, not this baby. Ask Quirinius, and after me it's going to be my son who's King of the Jews, not this baby. Listen, Marcus, I don't care what you have to do or how you do it. Just find that baby.
God keeps showing up. Wise men, particularly very handsome wise men like the one that we saw, wise people, realize that God is doing something through Jesus and go and find God by meeting him. But there are other people like Herod, people who don't want anyone to be in charge except themselves, and they are against Jesus. We're going to go back on our Zoom call now. We're going to do some craft, hear some readings, think more about this story. Join me here again in a few minutes. Ooh, ooh, it's parky out there, isn't it? Cold, isn't it? What's this? Zoom quiz? Oh, I love a Zoom quiz. Bobby Moore? No. Great Escape? No. Henry VIII? No. Oh, never mind. What's that? Can't hear you, mate. You're on mute. Listen, I'm pretty speechless myself, but I've just got to tell you this story's just happened. Amazing happened. There we were on the hillside looking after the sheep with me mate Jeff. Let me tell you, the sheep give you better conversation, to be honest. He's yabbering away. But then, well, I don't know how to say it, mate. God showed up. Yep. Everything's changed. There is this suddenly massive, like, army of angels singing through the whole sky, telling us that God has come here. A saviour has been born in David's town. Well, that's Bethlehem. It's only a couple of miles away. And he is Christ the Lord. They said, all right, if you want to know where God is, go and find a stable. Look for a baby in a feeding box. Well, I was like, that's not going to be too tricky to find, so who puts the baby in there? So we're off to have a look. It's cold, so I'm going to have to give the quiz a miss. Oh, you, Jeff, yeah. Jeff needs you to go and look after the sheep, really. They're no trouble. They just make a bit of noise. I'll leave you me crook, because that guy, Joseph Nazareth, great guy, makes lovely carpentry. It's a good one. You'll be all right with that. Anyway, we got to go. We're off to Bethlehem. See you later. I'm going to see God because he showed up. Wow. What a handsome shepherd, eh? And his horse looked just like my studio. Amazing. Now what we're learning is that God showed up and he welcomed people to come and see him. Not people who seemed important or people who had all the power. No, he welcomed normal people, shepherds. He announced his great plan to shepherds, normal people. Well, we're going to go back onto our Zoom call now. So do look in. We're going to do some craft, make some shepherds and some sheep. And then this time we're going to have a little bit of hearing from one of the characters from the story on our Zoom call, our actual Zoom call. So you make your way on over to there and then come back to me in a few minutes because I've got something really cool to show you. Well, thank you to all our crafters and all of our readers. We've seen today that Christmas means that God showed up. The real God who made the world became a person. That means what we see is God is not some far away, disinterested figure. It's interesting, we see God is not how a lot of people imagine him. People imagine he's waiting for us to do good things to see if we're worth his attention. Some people think God is just a force with no personality that can be found when we love each other. But do you see, Christmas shows us God has a personality and became a person so we could know him stepping towards us before we did anything good or bad. God showed up. And you see the way God showed up? As a baby, in poverty. God's interested in the smallest, poorest, weakest people. That means in the hardest, most difficult places, perhaps in the midst of this difficult year you're having, God is offering to show up in your life through Jesus if you want him to. You see, Jesus went on in his life to say all of us are separated from God. We don't know him. But he came as a person in Jesus so that we could, if we wanted to. He is incredibly committed to getting us back to know him. How do we know? Because he showed up himself in weakness, in poverty, as a baby. So all of us would know that's what he's like and that everyone is welcome to come and know him. Christmas is about God showing up, becoming a baby, welcoming everyone into his family. And it's one of the great, beautiful things about Christmas is God becoming a baby, is that it makes Christmas such a brilliant time for children. So if you're a child and you've tuned in today, it's been great to have you with us. Some of the children in our church have made a video to celebrate Christmas. Usually we get together and sing Christmas songs. Like I said earlier, we can't do that this year. But instead, kids from church have got together and made a video at home that our brilliant media team have put together. So we're going to enjoy now this song for kids, remembering God became a baby, Christ, the King of Christmas.
It's Christmas!
Christmas tree remind you of the one who trusts the Lord, who walks the paths of godliness and loves to hear God's word. Pray that as you grow up, that's just how you will be, standing tall for Jesus like a Christmas tree. Let your love show, ho, ho, let your faith grow, ho, ho, that everyone will know Christ the King of Christmas. Fairy lights remind you of that bright shining star, spotted by the wise men who travelled from afar. They gave Jesus all their treasures and they worshipped him that night. Let your worship of King Jesus shine like fairy lights. Let your love show, ho, ho, let your faith grow, ho, ho, that everyone will know Christ the King of Christmas. Cane remind you of God's amazing grace. Red the blood of Jesus as he suffered in our place. White the full forgiveness won as Jesus rose again. You can tell your friends the gospel with a candy cane. Let your love show, ho, ho, let your faith grow, ho, ho, that everyone will know Christ the King of Christmas. Gifts at Christmas time, fill your heart with praise to God for all his goodness shown in oh so many ways, that every day in every way will be completely his. Give your life to Jesus as a Christmas gift. Let your love show, ho, ho, let your faith grow, ho, ho, that everyone will know. Let your love show, ho, ho, let your faith grow, ho, ho, that everyone will know. Christ the King of Christmas.
Well, thank you kids for all your hard work on that. One of the things that I've most missed about this very strange 2020 Christmas is not being able to get together with other people to sing Christmas carols. So we do today have the next best thing. About 50 people from across our church have videoed themselves singing Hark the Herald Angels Sing, a great Christmas classic, and our very clever team have put it together into one joint carol of all of us singing together. And I do want you to have a look, particularly if you're new to our church and you're not quite sure what you make of us. One of the things you want to know is what type of people go here. Our church is made up of people who believe that God showed up at Christmas, and he still shows up in our lives today. And as you'll see from the video, we're people from all walks of life, from all around the world, from all different places. But what brings us together is that we really believe these words in this carol, that the heaven-born Prince of Peace came to earth at Christmas. So I hope you enjoy. Open your window, sing along, belt out this carol, Hark the Herald Angels Sing. Thank you so much for joining us for our first ever E-Nativity. I hope you'll feel it's been a success, even if there's been some technical glitches for you along the way. Just let me say a few things as we finish. The first is to say we'll be having a service here on our YouTube channel on Christmas Day, 10:30 for a 10:45 start. Some of your favourite carols, a short little message for children, hopefully a chance to interact on the chat for people to tell us what presents they've got and share some of that joy. So do tune in on Christmas Day. If you've been up for several hours already, it might be just the distraction you need to hear some carols and join in with us. We'd love to stay in touch with you. Do please press the link below and we will stay in touch. We send an email every fortnight with things going on, but that doesn't commit you to anything. Finally, just to say, in terms of meetings over Christmas, so on next Sunday, the 27th, the day after Christmas, we don't have anything on the YouTube channel, but we do have a Zoom call where we're going to have coffee together and just see each other's faces. If you're a church member, that'll be in your members email. If not, again, email the address here. They would love you to jump on the call with us there. And then we're back to mixed mode gatherings on the 3rd of January. So we'll be having an online service here on the 3rd of January, 10:30 as usual, and then one physical meeting at our normal place at 11:15 on the 3rd of January. You're welcome to bring kids along to that, but there won't be any kids groups. They'll be in the service with us, and places are limited. You need to book in advance, so you can do that now. That's all the practical notices. Can I just finish by saying it is amazing news that at Christmas God showed up. We think it's the best news ever. We love to help you think about it if it's new to you. Please do fill in the contact form, let us know, and we'll invite you along to ask any questions you've got. Thanks for joining us. Have a very, very happy Christmas. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏